All right, welcome back. It's Saturday, February 3rd, 2024. Today's project on the 60 is installing this fuel injection gas tank. So, those who may not follow the channel, we're working on a 60 Impala convertible with a Gen 5 LT53 with a 6L80. So, I had to order the tank. I got it from Tanks Inc. They sell them as a kit, but they're not 100% complete. They're about 95% complete. So this assembly come with tank, sender, reed style sender, fuel pump assembly, Corvette style 58 psi regulator with fittings, vent check valve, little Y, what the barb fitting, gaskets, filler neck, and the sock, of course, and that was pretty much in the tank straps. Pretty much it. This assembly was $737 shipped to my house. $700 of that was the parts and tax. $30 of that was shipping. So what I had to buy was, of course, the 3/8 fuel line for the vent. They recommend you run the vent higher than the filler neck, but that might pose a problem because of the Continental kit. The filler neck is above the trunk, so we're just going to go as high on the frame rails as possible. I don't think it's going to be an issue since it's just a vent. I bought this assortment of PTFE fittings on Amazon a while back, and then this is the extension of the filler neck to go to work with the Continental kit. Before we put the car on the frame, we did run the PTFE gas line. Ran it all the way to the front. It's been hanging out here for a while. This is going to plug directly into the fuel pump. I need to buy one of them push-on fittings. I was going to do a compression fittings, but I think the push-on might work better. So hopefully we can find a 180 or at minimum a 90, and the fuel line will just run, or maybe flip it this side and run that way. So we're going to have a lot of excess. We're going to have to make that. We're going to have to make our return. But outside of that, this is a comparison video of the stock tank. This is actually a brand new unit. It's just been sitting outside for 2 years. And it got all dirty, but this tank is 1.5 inches taller or deeper than the stock. But as you can see, they're pretty good replicas. Pretty good replicas. I really like the coating on it, kind of the silver finish, so it kind of gives it a stockish look, but it looks like it's built to last. So I'm digging it. I think the only modification we're going to have to do is this fuel pump, which is kind of a general thing. It's universal. I did upgrade to the 650 horsepower fuel pump, which I don't plan on ever needing, but the upgrade was only $10. So what I got was the tank, the reed sender, the fuel pump, the LS filter, shipping and handling. So this is going to go ground to the body, pink to Dakota gas signal, sender signal or whatever, Dakota dash, pink to that, and then we have to run a power wire from the front to the back for the fuel pump. Outside of that, I don't see this really being much of an issue. We'll see though. I've never done this, first time doing it, but I've read and I've watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, so I feel like I'm geared up to get it done. So I'm going to put this car in the air, make things a little bit easier, bring you guys back once we put some work in. All right, so far we dropped in the sender. That was pretty straightforward. It can only go one way, even though it looks like these can fit either way. It's set to go one way. It also has an arrow pointing right there.
And the gasket had an arrow.
The gasket is also one way only. So this is just going to go to ground. This is going to go to the Dakota dash. Put our fuel pump together. So what we did was we measured. We put a straight edge right here. Measured down. We came up with 7 inches, and then we measured from the base of the pump here, we put the sock on. Then we measured from here to the base of the pump, and we came up with 4 1/4. And then that meant we had to, I'm sorry, yeah, right,
yeah,
4 1/4.
That's what we're left over.
So then we had to cut that much off, 2 3/4 off of this one. This black line was down here pretty far. where's the scrap at? Somewhere around here. It went flying. But so basically, this thing should drop in, and it's either going to be really close to the trunk, to the gas tank floor, or just hovering above it.
At least a quarter inch.
At least a quarter inch, or I don't plan on running this thing on empty. You know what I mean? So it's not that crucial in this particular application. And then you put your little insulator, I guess, whatever. You zip tie your return. You cut your return even with your fuel pump at a 45. Is what the Holley recommend. And then you plug in your power. This goes through here, through these two connectors. And then these, you tighten these back down. 3/8 seems to fit. So now your connections are coming up straight through the pump, which it's probably 10 millimeter. 3/8 seems to fit though. The video we used was a Holley video, and it's a real good step-by-step, man. Like
Up to a certain point, and then after that you follow the instructions there.
Yeah. You just follow the steps, man. It's pretty. One thing Tanks didn't send is these fittings right here. 1/4 inch MPT by either number 6 AN, or I call them 37 JIC number 6. That's one thing they don't include. If they included that, it would be pretty much complete. This plus the vent 3/8 vent line, then it would be a complete setup.
Rubber line.
Yeah. Okay. So boom, boom, we're ready to drop this in.
Gotta line it all up.
Actually, I think it's gonna go like that. That's so that our lines are pointing this way, easy to get to. And then this is return. Okay. Okay. So then we just use our little hardware here. You all right over there, Bobby?
Bobby's like 10 pounds lighter, man.
I don't want to make any noise.
Oh, go ahead. You make plenty. Don't worry. I don't know what the torque specs on this are, but we're just going to tighten them.
I would think you wouldn't want to crush the cork gasket too much.
I'm going to tighten them in the star pattern just to be safe. Snug them all down first. You know, common sense stuff. So they're all snug. Except this one.
Screwdriver. It's got to start here.
Yep. Let me get one. Edit that out. Hey, how about that? I think that's it, man. So now, I think what we'll do is get the car up in the air. We can probably go ahead and extend these lines.
Run the lines.
Run the lines, get them plenty long to reach the front of the car. Grounds. We'll probably run separate grounds.
Yeah.
These funky electronics, man, you know, they might have the mind of their own, so separate grounds. But we'll extend these, run them to the front, run them together.
It's 2024, man. We still segregation. Man.
So we'll bring you guys back once we get that done. All right, so this gas tank is ready. We got our 2 lines, 2 power wires, plenty of length, should go all the way into the car. We got our vent hooked up. I just left this as long as possible right now. We can always trim it. We did struggle with this fitting right here. For some reason it didn't want to go in. We really had to manhandle it to get it to pop in for some reason. These went on easy. So now we're just going to throw this thing under here. I don't want to go up too high with the car because I have no hoses hooked up to the cylinder, so as you can see the cylinder's collapsed out of place. But we're just going to hang the tank with the brand new tank straps, figure out how we're going to run the wires, and start making our hoses. You feel pretty confident about this?
Oh yeah, easy.
I think between the 2 of us, we can at least get half of it right. So we'll bring you guys back once we get this tank hung. All right. So we got it done for today. We'll start with the outside. That's the extended filler neck for the Continental kit. So the extended filler neck was part of the Continental kit order. Tanks don't make that. So that's needed if you're on a Continental kit. Otherwise, you won't be able to put gas. So we kind of snaked it in there and able to get some hose clamps. So that's done. So let me take you underneath and show you what it looks like. So this tank came with extended straps, it seems. The straps were plenty long, which made installing this really easy. A good product on them. That's just my 3rd brake light and my license plate lamp holding down. You can see I need to get some hose clamps. I don't think the tank came with hose clamps. I don't know what happened to them. So I just need 2 hose clamps there and this little tab holding it in place. So this is a little bit deeper than the stock one. So what we did was the line coming out the left. Okay, so tech tip, you got to secure your lines to the tank before you hang the tank. Otherwise, you can't get a wrench on there. You can't get a wrench in there to tighten them. So we made these lines right here on the floor and used basic tools. We used crescent wrenches and that was it, right? Just crescent wrenches, no AN wrenches or anything like that. We just did it the cheapest way possible. So coming out the left is the return. The return is 5/16 fitting on the regulator. Pressure's 3/8. So the one on the right is the pressure going to the regulator, coming out the fuel pump to the regulator, and then from here to the front of the car. Then the center vent with the Y barb fitting is the vent, and we just zip tied it up there. And this is the wire, pink wire going to the Dakota ground. We cleaned up the ground here. We cleaned up the ground whenever I mounted the regulator on the frame, and then the ground for the fuel pump, and then this one is the fuel pump wire looped around. So I ran these along here. We zip tied it, and we got them going through the floorboard. So once we drop the car down, we put a little grommet on there, and those are going to the front of the car under the dash. So overall, seems pretty simple. I'm not sure that I trust these push-on fittings because they feel kind of wonky, but that's what it comes with, so I guess that's what we use. Overall, I don't think this install was that hard. There's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to install the PTFE fittings. We just use a grinder with a cutoff wheel to cut them. And like I say, we put these things together on the floor. And then the gas line is running along the frame and all the way to the front. We use some clamps up there, which we did whenever we before we put the body on the frame. So I'll take you around to the front of the car and show you the gas line. All right, so here's the engine on the car, 5.3 L83. We're going to be running a car intake, a 6.2 intake, and this is the line coming up. So the line just comes up from the frame, and this is where we're going to tie it into. So I need to order a fitting for this, push-on fitting for that. We're going to have a 90. We're going to have a 90 PTFE fitting to hose, and it's going to end pretty much right there. Got plenty of extra line, like an extra 7 feet. But that's it. That's it. So the gas tank is in. Next weekend we start some wiring, wiring up the Dakota and the engine harness and stuff. But we're not far away from starting this car. Hopefully. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would say installing this gas tank was like 5 out of 10 on the scale of being of difficulty, and this was actually my first time actually doing it. This is my first fuel injection swap, and man, if I could do it, anybody could do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more work. Thanks for watching.